The Volkswagen Jetta GLI isn't the sportiest, silliest, most adolescent sport compact on the market, but it's also not meant to be. The Jetta GLI is tastefully sporty, with a red front lip and a couple of GLI badges. But mostly, it's comfortable. It's the sport compact you buy if you want heated and ventilated seats, but also 3 pedals at your feet. And that's pretty cool.
This is the 2025 Volkswagen Jetta GLI Autobahn, a 6-speed manual sports sedan with heated and ventilated seats. And I'm Atlantis King. We're out here at the wonderful Z-Max Dragway at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but we will not be drag racing this car today because unfortunately, it's on all-season tires. But let's go for a drive anyway, and stick around for the end of this video to get this Jetta's full report card.
The Jetta GLI came to America in 1984. It had fuel injection, 90 horsepower, and a 5-speed manual transmission. Volkswagen had luck with the sporty Rabbit GTI, or Golf if you prefer, and decided to make a sportier Jetta as well. The Jetta was called a GTI with a trunk, and the goal was for it to be an accessible German performance sedan. This is my first time in the Jetta GLI, and I'm driving it in Charlotte, North Carolina, because I came to town for the grand opening of a new racetrack called 10/10 Motor Club. It's right across the street from Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the kind folks at 10/10 and Charlotte told me to come use their Z-Max Dragway to film this video. I wish we could track the car, but unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to switch it off of all-season tires before I got here. The backdrop rocks, though.
You might be going, Atlantis, GTI? GLI? Please speak English, not alphabet, and I am happy to oblige. GLI means Grand Lux Injection, and in case you need it for trivia, Jetta comes from the German word for jet stream, Golf comes from the German word for Gulf Stream, and Passat comes from the German word for trade wind. Are you sensing a pattern? GTI means Gran Turismo Iniezione, which is Italian for a luxury, nice performance car with fuel injection. Did y'all know I took Italian in college? I don't remember any of it. So, mi dispiace, ho provato. This 2025 Volkswagen Jetta GLI Autobahn has a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that makes 228 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. That goes through either a 6-speed manual transmission or a 7-speed DSG automatic to the front wheels. The engine in this car is from Mexico. The transmission is from Germany. And fun fact, it takes regular gasoline and gets 30 miles per gallon combined. Another fun fact is that you can bench press this hood. It's so heavy. In the 2025 model year, the base Volkswagen Jetta starts at $22,500 American dollars and comes with a 158 horsepower engine. This is the GLI, which starts at more than $10,000 more, almost $33,000 American dollars for this 228 horsepower vehicle. The GLI in 2025 only comes in one trim right now, and that is the Autobahn trim with all of the fancy stuff, like heated and folding side mirrors, 18-inch wheels, LED headlights and daytime running lights, rain-sensing windshield wipers, ambient interior lighting, dual front climate control, leather seats, heated and ventilated front seats, a heated steering wheel, a power adjustable driver's seat, a bunch of driver assistance features, adaptive chassis control, a limited slip front differential lock, and more. This particular Jetta GLI Autobahn starts at $32,715 American dollars. It has only one paid option, which is a black package that blacks out the wheels and the side mirrors, and after fees, it comes to $34,590 American dollars. Now is where I would put my regular speech about how lucky we are to have a new manual vehicle on the American market in 2025. But the GLI is actually a really interesting situation. The Golf GTI is now automatic only. It's a 7-speed DSG. And that is because while in 2023, 50% of US buyers went for the manual Golf GTI, globally, people only opted for it 5% of the time. The other 95% went auto. The GLI, though, that's an American market product. So the North American Volkswagen were selling 40% take rates on the manual, and they said, we're keeping it. So this is why we have it. 1010's Motor Club, the track we're visiting this week, is actually a joint effort between Speedway Motorsports, the lovely people who gave us the drag strip to film this video, and Rick Hendrick. Rick Hendrick is a man who owns a dealership called City Chevrolet, which was prominently featured in Days of Thunder. And if you're a fan, or you want other Hendrick Motorsports apparel, NASCAR apparel, Indy 500 apparel, or collegiate sports apparel, our partner Homefield has it. You can get 20% off your first order with my code Atlantis20. It is now time for the main event, which is how many Atlantises can fit in this Volkswagen Jetta GLI Autobahn's trunk. This is the drag strip trunk test. Ooh, look at that. It opened right up. We're also gonna see if I'm able to lock the keys in here. I don't know. Slam that down. I can lock the keys in here, that is for sure. And this, it's actually really dark, but I'm gonna give it a solid 3 Atlantises. It's deep. It's time to drive the 2025 Volkswagen Jetta GLI Autobahn. And I just want to give you a disclaimer. We're not going to drive this car super hard like we usually do today because I unfortunately had like a bit of a medical emergency yesterday, and this is my only time to drive the car and record my impressions. So I'm going to tell you what it's like to daily drive, what the interior and exterior are like in my opinion, and we're going to go through the basics. We're going to start with the interior and exterior of this car, and I really like the exterior styling. It's nothing too wild or bold or out there, but it does look really nice, and this Monterey blue paint, I was really worried about it, because when I saw it in the configurator, I thought, oh no, I don't want that to look gray, and it doesn't. It's a really bright, nice paint color, and it looks really good in the day. It looks really good at nighttime. It's just cool. The only thing we'll say about the exterior that people have commented on in not the best way is the GLI badges are red and huge, and people are like, that's a little much. Now let's talk about the interior of this Jetta GLI. It has a telescopic steering wheel, which is great because it allows you to get in the right place while you're driving and have the wheel far enough away or close enough to you to be really comfortable in here. And I like that. Now, materials wise, this is a much better interior than the Honda Civic Si, which is a big competitor to this car. You might like the design better in the Si. The design is really nice, but this has all kinds of leather surfaces and just feels nicer in here and also has more features. The big knock though on this interior is that there is piano black everywhere. The vent setup is entirely piano black. My shift knob is piano black. My little area with all of my buttons to press for my climate control and stuff is piano black. Even the rim around the infotainment screen is piano black, and I'm just like, what was going on when we decided the materials for this car? And why did we decide they would all be piano black? The infotainment screen in this car is fine. It's workable. I use Apple CarPlay and it does what I need it to do. But it's not super impressive. It's actually pretty small compared to a lot of modern infotainment screens, and that makes the car feel older. Another thing that makes the car feel older is the air vents. A lot of newer cars, the air vents are integrated into the design and they flow really well in the inside of the car. This one, the air vents look like air vents, and it's just not the best look, and it's not the most modern look, unfortunately. Another thing that's weird on the inside of this car that I think is really unnecessary is the haptic buttons. They're not actual buttons that you press. It's basically like a little touch screen that just lights up. All of the buttons are like this. What's unfortunate about capacitive buttons is that it's basically a touch screen. It's very hard to find what you're looking for because it's not a physical button with a shape or anything like that. You're just basically poking at it. There's actually quite a bit of headroom in here, but these seats, while they feel nice and they're super comfortable, don't feel super sporty. This isn't Elantra in sport seats. This is comfortable leather with a little bit of bolstering, and it's fine, but if you're looking for a sporty feel like you would get in an Elantra in, a Honda Civic Si, anything else like that, you're not gonna get that in here. This is more just laid back. Now let's talk about driving impressions in this Jetta GLI, and I want to start with some stats. In the mid $30,000 range, we have the Honda Civic Si, which is $30,000 to $31,000. That's 200 horsepower. This Jetta GLI is $34,000 with 228 horsepower, and the Hyundai Elantra in, which is also $34,000, is 276 horsepower. And the numbers do not lie. I have driven all of these cars, and the Elantra in makes it very hard for anyone else to compete in this segment because the value proposition is wild. The shifter in this car is very funny. It's super automatic looking. The shift knob is this rounded corner square looking thing, and it's huge. I don't really know why. It also sits up really high. It's a super tall shifter, and the gears feel so long. You spend a lot of time in first gear, and I think that makes the car feel a little slower than it is, because you'll be going around in a parking lot and you'll go, do I shift into second? Do I leave it in first? What do I do? You just spend a lot of time in first gear in this car, and it's a little odd. Something I was very surprised about when I first got in this car was I'm going around driving, shifting, doing my thing, and it's not rev matching. There is no rev matching. And it just feels so funny in the year 2025 to not have that. But if you're one of those people who goes, I want to drive by myself the whole time, I don't want the car doing anything for me, then I guess that's great for you. You can really feel the Jetta GLI's limited slip differential working, especially in a situation where you're taking a tight turn and you need to accelerate while the wheel is cranked. Often in a car with an open differential, which does not limit the slippage of the wheels, you will feel the inside wheel just slipping and spinning. And in this car, it feels very controlled. You're putting the power down well, which is the idea with a limited slip. The Jetta GLI has a very light clutch. I would say it's super friendly for getting into first gear. You're not gonna have a lot of issues with it, but the brake pedal is so squishy compared to a lot of performance cars. Usually when you have a performance car, you want the brake pedal to feel stiffer, and this feels just like a normal car. Overall, the Jetta GLI feels very normal, and some people probably want that. The Honda Civic Si has really cool shift lights that make it feel sporty. The Elantra N has those great seats and has all the performance to back it up. The GLI feels like a normal car with a manual transmission and some cool red badges. And if that's what you want, if you're going for that really nice feature-ridden car that has heated and ventilated seats and all the features you want, the Jetta GLI rocks. If you're looking for something that feels super special, you'd probably go with another car.
Now that we've driven the 2025 Volkswagen Jetta GLI Autobahn, it's time to give it a grade. Welcome to Atlantis' report card. The exterior on this Jetta gets an A-. I like it a lot. I have zero complaints about the exterior, but instead of an A, it gets an A- because it's a little bit tame. The interior gets a B+. There are a lot of features in here. Heated and ventilated seats, stuff that on the American market you don't see in a lot of other vehicles in this market segment. But I'm taking off some big points because the interior styling is very late 2010s. Instead of being super cohesive and artistic in there, you see stuff separated out. It looks like car features. The vents look like vents. The infotainment screen looks like an infotainment screen. It's not beautifully blended together like you would expect in the mid-2020s, so that's why it gets a few points docked off. The performance gets a B. I think it's really difficult actually to judge the current hot hatch and sports sedan segment in America because of the Elantra N. The Elantra N is literally almost 300 horsepower for $34,000. And that's really hard for other competitors because this is $34,000 for $228,000. It's a great car, but the Elantra N really throws a big wrench in things. Value gets a B- for that same reason.
The Elantra N exists. Would I take this car on a road trip? Absolutely, I would. It has great driver assistance features. The seats are super comfortable, and they have bolstering in case you want to take it on a back road. And overall, this car gets a B+. It is great. It just has a big challenger, like every other car in this market segment.
The Volkswagen Jetta GLI isn't the silliest sport compact you can buy, and that's okay. It's a grown-up car with a young spirit, and I relate to that. The older I get, the more comforts I want without giving up the fun that comes from less comfortable options. The GLI understands that.
The Volkswagen Jetta GLI is a fun, manual, hold-out sports sedan on the American market, and usually I would say, we don't deserve this. But the sales numbers do not lie. You Volkswagen buyers come through, and you deserve this.